Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to get into Jimin and a specific date that people believe he was on recently and that the news had talked about. And some people are upset as per usual, and even some anti-gay comments were made that I want to address. I also want to get into the comments that were made and talked about companies being in trouble. So grab your dumplings, tea spilling mug merch, and let's jump into the tea. If you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, to be first, leave your hate comment. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also, and you'll be first to do so. Now let's jump into it. The first thing that I wanted to get into is this gay date that everyone was talking about. People apparently believe that Jimin was on one recently due to some of the interactions online. However, for the longest time, people do believe that Jimin is not straight. And this is often due to his feminine features and how graceful and beautiful he is. Now I am talking about theories online. This is not my personal opinion, as I often get very upset when people just assume that just because you're feminine that you're automatically gay. Does it happen a lot? Sure, I guess, but it's not always the case, and a lot of straight men are more softer and a lot of gay men are more rougher. And Jimin hasn't come out and said anything himself. However, there's moments that people often use other than stereotypes to talk about how they believe Jimin is gay. Moments where Jimin has a rainbow on his face or shows any support to LGBT, but I mean straight people could still show support to gay people. But other thoughts like Jimin giving Jungkook a hickey or constantly being playful with Jungkook. But this could be brotherly love. As for the hickey thing, that happened a little while ago. I do believe that was something they did for fun, as they are awfully close with each other. As for the recent gay date that people believe Jimin was on, this was none other than Jin himself. People believe that they were together and spent the day together due to a lot of interactions we saw online yesterday or early this morning. The two were extremely active on our Weverse, and they were responding to a lot of different comments that armies were sending in. When the boys all of a sudden became active, it's very jarring in a very good way, because suddenly with every comment, everyone's phone vibrates and everyone sees every comment. Now people assume that this was a date given the nature of the fact that a lot of people think Jimin is not straight for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Jin actually responded to a comment where someone asked Jimin to marry them, and Jin responded no in his usual savage fashion. People took this as Jin being protective. This is not the first time Jimin was being protected like this by the boy. A little while ago, someone asked on the Tweetstar if Jimin was taken, and someone responded and said, "Jiminy is mine." And this was a little while ago, as I don't think BTS responds to comments on the Tweetstar anymore. I feel like this was maybe Taeyang, as I feel he is the most active on social media. But we don't know who it is or if it's just BTS social media team. But stuff like this makes people believe that Jimin is dating the boys. But it's moments like this that people find so cute, and a lot of people are super happy about and love seeing Jimin being treated this way, and even potentially having a good time and laughing about it. Perhaps Jimin also saw the married comment but wanted Jin to respond and say no. Either way, I love this. Now this isn't all rainbows and lollipops. People online were happy, but there was definitely some people who like to use these quote-unquote gay moments against BTS. It's one thing to claim that they're gay and that you would like them to be because maybe you're gay and you wish to have a chance with them, but it's another to throw it in their face as if being gay makes them a lot less of a man or makes them less than as artists, because we definitely know that is not true, and there's just so many successful gay artists. But when people take these moments where Jimin and Jin are close or Jimin and Jungkook are close and twist it as a bad thing, it makes me really upset, because one, every group has ships, every single one. You can't take a single popular K-pop group and not see gay ships with each other. It's part of the fan culture, and it's sometimes even the label pushing a little fan service for us. So this idea that someone would call them gay for things everyone else does too, that is annoying to me. But also using this as a way to say that them being gay makes them hard to be a fan of. It's one thing to insult BTS by saying you don't like their music, or you know what, even calling them ugly, because that's your opinion and you don't have to find all the boys attractive or like their music. But if some small town gay boy who has been in the closet his whole life decides to go online and see that not only would his parents hate him if he came out, but the internet would too, and the boy is already scared because maybe he's getting bullied, he would suppress that side of him. I know for myself, I was scared to come out as bi, and definitely scared for a while to think even though I'm bi, I might have a bigger preference for one or the other gender. But mainly me not wanting to admit I like guys at all, because I grew up with everyone screaming at me saying you're gay, just admit it. And it for some reason bothered people that I thought I was straight and would flirt with girls. And when I came out as bi, it was, I knew you were gay, see, don't you feel better? And it's like, no, I'm not gay. Seeing those comments trigger a lot of the bullying I got as a kid, and it makes me quite upset when people use this idea as something to attack another person for. You can assume I'm gay, most people do, but to insist is another, and I have never done that on this channel. I don't think so, because I don't believe that is the right thing to do. People who are saying this in hopes some armies will unfollow, well, if you're going to unfollow because of this idea, then there is a possibility of BTS being gay, then simply unfollow and exit all fandoms. Sometimes I think we forget people we love and celebrate and cherish, they're people. And being people, you are going to do human things. You are going to be gay or straight or bi or whatever. This is like part of being human. So any person you follow is going to have the possibility of being gay or support someone who is gay. I think being an idol is stressful as is without all of this. I think a lot of people want to look for a reason not to support BTS, and even Western media has used this idea that BTS members are all gay as a way to insult them and say that BTS doesn't belong, as if Western media doesn't have any gay men. There's drag queens who are now in mainstream media, and yet BTS gets hate for wearing makeup. It's this same idea of them being like, admit it, you're gay, only gay men wear makeup, which is so low and disgusting. I've read a whole essay on this. BTS members have recently been very open about these types of topics, not necessarily addressing gay people, but addressing the industry, both K-pop and Western media. There's recently been articles published on Weverse that talked about the backlash and racism that BTS faces in everything they do. And even BTS themselves partly speaking up for themselves, with Jungkook getting tattoos and even sometimes and Suga addressing the messed up part of their job. When Jimin and Jin were on Weverse, Jin actually answered a very interesting question and a topic I have talked about a lot on this channel, and I've even interviewed 2 K-pop trainees on, which is just the dark side of the K-pop trainee program. And Army wrote that she was 18 or 19 years old and she had been auditioning for these companies and they would tell her that she was too late. I don't think this is big hit or hype. I think maybe she was auditioning for some of the other labels and maybe even smaller ones. She said that the judges would tell her she was getting in too late and needed to be younger. Just hop in the old time machine and give it a go. And she asked Jin about this, and Jin responded that he got in at 20 and that he believes that the companies are starting too early. And we have even started to see people enter labels or even debut at like 15 or 16. And I think Jungkook started around that time too. But it's weird to hear, because why do you want them to be so young? I read somewhere that people believe the younger idols have more appeal, like they're most interesting. But I personally don't think that's true. They're cute, yeah, but I like it when they're a little bit older, like legal age, and their face matures up. We can start to see their abs or whatever. But I guess I understand the appeal with kids too. Like if you see a very talented kid singing really well, it's just more marketable, right? People are shocked. Headlines write about it. It's also easier in terms of PR because they probably haven't gotten into any scandals, and you can't prevent them from getting into those. I do want to clarify what Jin said though, and I think it's interesting that he's speaking up about this. And I think he debuted at 20. I could be wrong, but I believe so. And he trained with BTS for about a year before debut. So he was 18 or 19 when he entered the label. And as you can see, that is definitely not too old. But if I'm going to be blunt and give it to you how it is, I definitely don't agree with this, but it may be an issue for girls. And typically most groups will train for a few years at minimum, and then she'll be 22 at debut, and then it'll take a few years before they become really successful. And in the industry, if you're above 25, you have one foot in the grave, especially if you're a woman. I don't know why, but this is how it goes. It's really messed up. News anchors, especially if you're a girl, will often get replaced once they hit 30 or something. Not all the time, of course, but however, I don't want this to discourage you from trying. The industry has seen weirder things happen and things that are not typical. That can be you. And if all else fails, you can do it on your own. You don't need a label to post your dancing and singing on social media and make a career out of that. Please, please try anyway. Please go for it. I promise it's worth it. And I hope that army doesn't give up. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to go over there and check that out. I have live videos over there that I can't really post on here. This is due to copyright or getting taken down, so I do keep it over there on my Patreon. You have videos over there like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions. You can also recommend things you like to see over there. Currently, we have over 400 videos that are already up on there. You have access to the moment you sign up. So if you're interested in checking that out, as well as being a part of that and interacting and all that stuff, then make sure you go over there and check it out. Link is in the top of the description down below. We also have a video over there that kind of goes over how you can support this channel even more if you would like to do that. The video's on the front page and it's free to watch. With that said, there's 2 videos that will appear up on screen at the end of this video, so click on one of those. I'll see you over there. Bye.